So yeah, right here it is. Yeah, so we're getting ready to roll into race number 3. Oh, mercy, yeah, this is the Bet 30 Plus class coming out on this one. Not having a chance to get this one set up for you just yet, as the gate has dropped on Moto number 2 here. Coming into this one, Nick Hayes, your Moto 1 winner. Second place going out there to, if I'm not mistaken, where are we at? Where's that? Oh, over here.
Right here, Bet 30 Plus, my man.
Yeah, second place position. These are always the fun ones to watch, that's for sure. As we try. Oh yeah, nope, wrong class.
Right there we go.
Yeah,
Parabinos.
Yeah, so this was the Bet 30 Plus, the third race off the track yesterday, and again, you know, a lot of familiar names, some returns to the ranch here, and Jesse Bork taking the early lead in this one on the hole shot with the number 29. Kawasaki out of Northfield, New Hampshire, and looks like already that's a trouble spot to be in as we look out and we see the number 6 and the number 4 waging war. Shane O'Banion, the top finisher from Moto number 1 and last season, taking 3rd in Moto number 1, and that number 4 machine of Justin Kelly out of Lemoyne, Illinois, taking 4th in Moto number 1 and 4th overall in last year's Bet 30 Plus class. They battle it out and waging war, and here comes the 42 also slow in the mix. Andrew Matusik finishing 5th in Moto number 1, had a wretched start as far as starts were concerned in that first moto. He picks up the action here in Moto number 1 and passes his way all the way into the lead, it appears, as they make their way into the final turns. They're still nearly elbow to elbow at the end of this first lap, but from back mid-pack of that top 10, Andrew Matusik powers his way into the number 1 spot.
Wow, Matusik worked for it last time. Remember, like 17th or 18th place start. Brought himself up to, what was it?
5th place position.
5th place, yeah, absolutely. So here he is, ego pride on the line, ego and pride on the line for the old guys right now. And Chase Yenser, just think, man, in about 20 years, you're going to be racing this class.
20, but probably about, how old are you now, buddy?
I just turned 18.
Just turned 18, so 12 years you could be eligible for this class right here. That's hard to think. You know, it was funny, speaking of 12, Ricky Carmichael said, you know, it's been 12 years since
he retired.
And it was only 13 years before that he left the ranch, you know, here.
Right.
So, wow.
A lot happened in 13 years. It came and went.
Yes, it did. It's been 25 years since he was last here at the ranch racing as a full-blown amateur motocross racer. But anyway, putting that all into perspective, back out here, O'Banion in 2nd, Randy Woodring in the number 3 spot is Justin Kelly in 4th. Jesse Bork, who got the hole shot, in the number 5 spot at the end of 1. Matthew Huguenot in 6th. Chad Wage is 7th. Moto 1 winner and defending champion of the class, Nick Hayes, back in 8th. Paul Parabinos, 3rd place finisher in Moto 1. 9th here in Moto 2 aboard the number 12. And Dustin Jensen, the number 9, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, I can tell you right now about Paul Parabinos. He's just letting things sort out here. He's a 2-3 lap guy. If he's not up front by that time, believe me, that's when he starts making his move. Chad Wage is up there going to make some moves too. You can count on that. And Matusik, he's going to do his best, man. He's going to put his head down, but not much of a gap last time around.
You know, whenever they came around, Andrew Matusik come charging so hard, and he came in with Shane O'Banion and Justin Kelly, kind of split them up, but I didn't even see Randy Woodring was right there with him. He split O'Banion and Kelly up in that third, and
there he is.
In that 3rd place position. So here we go. Those guys are still in that heated battle here at the end of lap number 2, and here comes Justin Kelly now looking over, doing the old look-see there to the number 29 of Jesse Bork, who actually just made the pass on him. So Bork actually, I mean, that was a pretty gnarly lap number 1, the way that jockeyed around up in that top 5.
There was some action in there, man, to be quite honest with you. And it was really hard to track because we just lose a little sight right there. Yeah. And there's a lot of passing in that area. Chase, I got to tell you, man, you have watched this thing all week. You were here early. With this a little bit more heat today, a little more sunshine, direct sunshine, that thing's getting hard underneath, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It looks hard and dry, and it's you definitely got to be ready coming into this to be able to get a championship out of here.
Oh, I'll bet. Now, with this loose surface on top, man, that just throws a whole different situation, too. We put all this topsoil, we've put this mulch, we've put the sand on top, but, man, when you blow through that and get to that slick clay, man, oh, man, you got to be careful.
Yes, you do, and it's a whole different riding style with when it gets dry and soft, and it's just... it's just a lot harder to ride, and you got to adjust throughout the race and throughout the day.
Oh, you better believe that.
You got to be able to adjust moto to moto and throughout the day, maybe even lap to lap on certain occasions as we're watching these guys try to make all the adjustments that they can. Justin Kelly trying to make up for lost ground, but he's being pressured down by the number 1 of Nick Hayes, who's making his way up through the pack. There's Kelly. Here comes the number 1 of Hayes, right not far behind him as he's worked his way through several positions over the last couple of laps.
Woodring is pushing that number 90 machine. I got to tell you, did you see that thing flexing into the corner, man? I mean, late on the brakes and heavy on the front end, man. I am here to tell you, Woodring trying to make it happen right here.
There's the number 6 of O'Banion. Looks like he's trying to keep that gap as tight as possible to Matusik. Here comes the battle for third down there. It's Woodring. Here comes Justin Kelly on the outside, and a host of other riders now sorting it out as we roll past the finish line. This is lap number 3 complete. Kelly, Paul Parabino's up in there. Hayes has actually dropped to 7th place, and Jesse Bork now down from 4th back to 6th place.
Lap 3, like I said, go time for Parabinos. If he's not there, he's going to get there on lap 3 or 4. And hey, man, Woodring, man, hats off to that guy. He's riding the wheels off of that Kawasaki, trying to keep Kelly at bay, but Kelly got some smooth corners going on right now. You notice his technique. He's riding all the outsides, keeping that momentum up. And I tell you what, he is riding a smart race right now.
After 3, it's Matusik, O'Banion, Woodring, 1, 2, and 3. Justin Kelly and Paul Parabinos as we watch this battle on screen right there. In 5th, Jesse Bork in 6th, Nick Hayes in 7th, Chad Wages 8th, Matthew Huguenet in 9th, Kenny Henry in 10th, Travis Stitcher in 11th, Bradley DePringer in the number 12 spot, Jonathan 6th in 13th, Michael Carter 14th, Alec Forte the 78 and 15th, Tyler Jugel in 16th, Brock Peterson 17th aboard the 39, the 18 of Jordan Oxley in 18th, Caleb Bertrand the 75 in 19th, and Cole Bowell on the number 37. KTM rounds out your top 20, brought to you by your friends at Wiseco Performance Products. One name, one solution.
Yeah, the guy who's moving right now, Parabinos, last time around, 159 too. The cameraman recognizes that as well. We've had him focused here, but almost a second and a half to 2 seconds quicker than up to 3 seconds quicker than everybody ahead of him right now. So Paul finding the traction, making it short around here, using all the insides as well, and that's a tough thing to do with the ruddy conditions we have, but it's working for the number 12 of Paul Parabinos. Chase, what happens when you miss one of them ruts in the inside?
Oh, you just go to the outside.
You just go to the outside, or after you pick your
after you pick it up or cross road, whatever you do.
All right.
Interesting points to ponder in this one. Parabinos finishing 2nd in Moto number 1 behind Nick Hayes, and both these riders struggling to make their way through this top 10 here in this second Moto. This should really set things up pretty interesting, especially for Andrew Matusik, who took a 5th place position finish in Moto 1. If he can keep these guys, or these guys can't progress through the ranks here in this second Moto, then it's really going to set him a lot tighter for an overall national championship in this one. But at the same time, as we talk about that, Nick Hayes has made a few passes. He's back up into a 4th place position.
Yeah, and that's what you can't count on right now, Rodney. We keep saying that we sound like a broken record, but you can't count on anything except these same guys being in the mix. But who's going to get to start? Who's going to have the bad luck?
There's the number 1 now challenging for 3rd place from Justin Kelly as they head down the short chutes to the Cometic Bowl turn, now into the 10 Commandments. Justin Kelly going to the inside. There is the number 90 of Woodring now in the number 2 spot as he's becoming a victim of this battle as well.
Holy cow, he's going to get caught up in this one right now. But that may push him forward just a bit, but he's feeling the pressure right now, isn't he, Chase?
Yes, he is. And it looks like he's containing a smooth pace and just following his lines throughout and looking ahead.
And that's what you got to do, is race forward. But, man, they are bringing more heat than a charbroiled grill right now, buddy. I'm telling you. Holy cow.
Man, being in Woodring's seat right now, it's got to be a hot one. There goes the pass, I believe, from the inside going outside. And here we are on the inside, and that is Kelly, Moto 1 winner, but he can't make it stick. Woodring right back into it.
I told you, late on the brakes, man, riding the wheels off of that Kelly. Woodring wants it. Look at this, going deep inside in that deep rut. Actually gains a couple bike links right there. And, is that Kelly behind him? Yeah, Kelly right behind him. Holy cow. Now look at this. Kelly taking that inside. Rodney, what's happening?
Here we go to the final turn now as we go to that hard left-hander to the Bermuda triangle of turns. To the inside goes the number 90.
Nice.
Outside goes the number 1 of Hayes as he tries to get that momentum and drive coming through the finish line section and over the tunnel of love, now headed toward the billboard.
Man, Woodring played that right. He came deep inside, drifted out in front of Hayes, took his line away from him, and picked up 3 to 4 bikes right there at the finish line.
Man, I don't know if you paid any attention to the line developing on the inside of that billboard straight there, but wow, it is really some major moguls that have popped up through there, and it's literally a rhythm section of its own as they're doubling and tripling through that section.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive this year. Not quite as deep as they normally get, but they're starting a little earlier, and that tells me some guys getting on the brakes earlier, but it's just making a complete whoop section, Rodney. Hey, Chase, you ever been stuck in those whoops down there? They ever caused you some serious issues?
Many times.
Yeah, that big rut down there, that left-hander, man. Did it ever just screw you? Did it ever just put the screws to you? All the time.
Out into the Suzuki Storyland we roll now. Riders out of sight from the announcer's tower. We picked them up on RacerTV.com coverage. Woodring still in the number 2 spot. There is Nick Hayes all the way up into a number 3 position, and he has been bouncing around this top 10 like a yo-yo for the last 3.5, 4 laps or so. But now he's got his sights set on second place and looking to really try to clinch that championship and move himself up in the point rankings as far as heading into Moto number 3.
Watch Woodring, man. When he comes over this thing and heads down into that rut, I mean, he just muscles this bike. Again, he's protecting that inside. Look at him slam that bike. Everybody else bouncing out of that rut. Everybody else going inside. Not Woodring, man. He controlling that inside line.
All and down here in the heart of this racetrack now, it's turning into, wow, Thor Beach, Polysport Beach, and Thor Sweeper turning to mercy sakes alive. What a battle these guys have got against each other. Then how about this racetrack? It is certainly creating a great racing surface for these riders, separating. Actually, you say separating these riders. I'll be honest with you, it's tightening these guys up, making the racing what it is out here this year, which has been off the charts.
Yeah, since day one, since 1982, this has been a racer's track. It promotes racing. There's passing anywhere on the track. I've never really heard anybody say, Loretta's with one line. I don't know that I've ever heard that. But
I heard somebody say that this morning. Hey, through the whole shot for us now. Whole shot for us out into the short chutes. We go down that hard left-hand turn now, the twisties as they call them, and on occasion anyway, and now heading toward the Cometic Bowl turn, right-hander into the 10 Commandments. Here comes Nick Hayes trying to set the pass up on Randy Woodring for second place.
Not going to happen at this pace on that inside, and there's exactly what's going to happen. Woodring's going to move over, take that line away, and man, that guy, I guarantee he played high school football. That guy knows defense. I'm here to tell you, that guy knows where to block. That guy knows where the line is. Holy cow. And look at this, forcing Hayes to become uncomfortable, forcing him to go where he does not want to go.
He just went through 2 different lines that I know he didn't want to choose.
Exactly.
Right. Andrew Matusik still out front, about 4.9 seconds of this battle that we're watching waged for second place between Nick Hayes, the number 1, and Randy Woodring, the number 90, your current second place position, rounding the Big Sandy Sweeper across from the Monster Energy viewing deck, heading back to the heart of this racetrack as we head over the Kawasaki Camelback into this big, now Thor roller sweeping turn in front of Polysport Beach.
I tell you, I give Hayes credit to you go the well enough times, you're going to get a drink.
Hey there.
I'll promise you. He's got a good line on that outside. And look at this.
Around there by the number 90. Yep. That rear end just kicked up and went a little sideways one time. You saw there a little juggle. And right through goes the number 1 of Hayes, keeping that momentum. So he's up to that number 2 spot. And again, his championship hope and championship bids are pretty tight after a Moto 1 win. Now moving into a second place position as he will lay chase, I'm sure, to Andrew Matusik at this point. But the point to be taken here is, even at a second place position, this 3 points heading into Moto number 3 is going to be a very good position for him to be in, as Andrew Matusik took 5th in Moto number 1.
I tell you, that pass right there by Kelly, the big thing about that is, number 1, you could see that thing was coming. You could see it was coming. He tried everything under the book, but it was out of necessity because now he's having to ride the bad line everywhere. And you know what? You keep going at it. You keep going at it. Persistence. And you know what? It came at the perfect time. Woodring made that one mistake where he kept challenging him. And he knew sooner or later he would make a mistake there. And that is just smart racing by Hayes.
Yeah, Nick Hayes definitely stalked his prey and attacked it when it was limp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It sprained its ankle and he pounced.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's the bottom line. Who we got coming up next, Rodney?
Coming up next, race number 485, 10-11 limited. They're racking behind the gate right now. Going to give you a top 20 update being brought to you by MX versus ATV All Out. Don't forget tonight the MX versus ATV All Out Loretta Lynn Video Game Championship going to be taking place at the Monster Energy Arena coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. Actually, it's Open Pro Sport that's coming up next. Sorry about that. Open Pro Sport. We're not looking at the time. I was looking at the races. The race numbers there. Sorry about that. But tonight at 7, we got a little video game championship going on. Matusik, Hayes, Woodring, Justin Kelly in 4th. Chad Wages, the number 45 in 5th. Paul Parabinos finishing 2nd in Moto 1. 6th in Moto number 2. Matthew Hugan in 7th. Kenny Henry, yes. 9th place. Bradley DePringer. Jesse Bork. 10th place, Brock Peterson, 11th, 12th, Travis Stitcher, 13th, Jonathan 6th, number 73, 14th, and Anthony Raw is that 14th place right on the 14, 15th to 38 of Michael Carter, 16th to 53 of Tyler Jugel, 17th Joseph Dretska, board the number 40, 18th to number 75 of Caleb Bertrand, 19th, the number 8 of the Sandman, Garrett Edmonston, and rounding out the top 20, Brian Burnett. That is your top 20. Again, brought to you by MX versus ATV All Out, who would be having an all-out championship tonight, but that has been canceled this year. So we were not going to be actually doing that. But tell them how cool that was. That was last year when we did Wes Kane and Tim Cotter when they went down. It was the announcer throwdown. I don't know. I mean, the game was pretty entertaining, but it was the announcing that really brought it to a whole new heights and new levels. And I'm just sorry that we won't get a chance to see that again as we're checking things out here. The number 4 of Kelly caught in some lap traffic right here. He's still holding into a tight 4th place, or was a tight 4th place. He had pulled up. Look there, was behind Randy Woodring. I think he may have made the pass on Woodring now. Yep, he's gotten around Woodring. Yeah. As I was running down the top 20, that pass being made. And sorry about that, guys, but Randy Woodring now 4th. Justin Kelly up to a 3rd place position as far as the championship and the overall goes for him. Looking at point standings there, he took a 4th in Moto number 1. So by doing this, a 4-4, any inconsistencies for anybody else in the 2nd Moto might put him in a little better position. And, you know, whenever you look at the big picture there, he's got a 4-4. That would be 8. Andrew Matusik's looking at a 5-1, which is 6th, and he's still got hopes for a championship at this point.
Absolutely, and it's not necessarily a situation of somebody needs to have bad luck. No, the racing's that tight here that if bad luck or no bad luck, if you have a bad moto, I don't mean a bad start, I don't mean necessarily go down. If you're just not feeling it, if you can't get it going, Chase, you get that arm pump going, or man, all of a sudden you're just out of rhythm. Tough to get her back here.
Exactly. White flag out on this one. Matusik continues to lead. Nick Hayes in 2nd. Justin Kelly in 3rd. Randy Woodring in 4th. Chad Wages 5th. Paul Parabinos in 6th. It is the 54 machine of Matthew Hugan in the number 7 spot. Make that 6th place now as he actually just moved up. Parabinos dropping off to 7th place. Kenny Henry followed by Bradley DePranger. And also looks that would round out your top 10. So headed down to the podium is the Weege, Jason Wygant, and of course, so also heading down to the podium, if all goes well, through the remainder of this last lap of racing. And we say that because we know you don't count your chickens before they hatch, especially down here at Loretta Lynn.
Everybody got to go through the Bermuda Triangle before the finish line.
That's exactly
all I'm saying.
As Kevin Kelly was saying down there with Amelia Earhart and Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Whitey Bulger's down there somewhere.
Yeah. And once again, just to want to remind folks, tonight's nighttime activities not going to be happening. I'm being told to remind folks, and I apologize. I had not been informed yet. and that was a bit of information that we do need to pass along. So once again, tonight's video game championship has been canceled, but maybe some way we could figure out a way to do this online and people could do it virtually from their motorhomes or something like that. That would be pretty
I'm sure they will be.
One day when we get really good internet down here. Here's Matusik in the final turns now in Moto number 2 here as he sets himself up the best he can for the national championship, going 5th place in Moto number 1. He comes out and makes quick damage in Moto number 2 and takes the Moto 2 win here at Loretta Lynn's.
Yeah, impressive ride, man. Matusik, for about 3 laps, had under a 2-second lead for about 3 laps. I mean, he had pressures on him for about 3 to 4 laps and just gradually pulled away. And that's cool under fire, man. That's cool under pressure right there. Maintaining that composure, racing for it. Never once did you see Matusik look over his shoulder. Never once.
Nick Hayes taking 2nd place, going 1-2 for the championship right now. The number 4, Justin Kelly, looking at a 4 and 3. Randy Woodring takes 4th here in Moto 2. 5th going to Chad Wages. The 54 of Huguenot in 6th place. Paul Parabinos, tough break for him. 2nd place finisher in Moto number 1, running 7th. Brock Peterson in 8th. Kenny Henry in the 9th place position aboard the 19, and Travis Stitcher, the number 63, rounds out the top 10 here in Moto 2.
Man, I tell you, exciting. Always exciting, the vet classes. I mean, but I got to tell you, man, that Woodring, man, he rode hard. Hayes was relentless, man. Nick Kelly was all over this track trying to make it happen. Matusik earned that one. Hayes, Kelly, Woodring fought for a whole moto, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he stayed consistent the whole moto, and he stayed up front.
Exactly, man. You know, that goes back to what we're telling you, kids. Survive, Loretta Lynn. Be consistent. And you can see what that did for these guys right there.
We got him down here on the podium. We're putting the gold medal on a guy who's been up front in these age classes now for a long time. Familiar name here on the podium at Loretta's. Going back, heck, he's won battle in RC back in the 25-plus class, 2012. And he's on the Suzuki, and he has the gold medal. Let's hear it for Andrew Matusik. Come around front here, Andrew. We had to change it since last year for some obvious reasons. Walk around front. That microphone is already on. It's yours. Hey, man, that was solid. That's more than what you were hoping to get, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got off the line. I put my head down and got out front early. Went to work and pulled a little bit of a gap there in the beginning and just concentrated on hitting my lines. Consistency is key, like you guys were talking about here. I mean, honestly, probably about 65, 70% on that track right now is all the faster you can ride it. I mean, you just start missing your marks, the bumps. They're so square edge right now. You know, you can read them, but there's only so much you can do with the bike. I think it's like every other 3.5 bump is square, but it's only every 3 feet across, so it's kind of weird.
Wow. You've been training some people? You've been teaching some stuff? That's what it sounds like.
A couple of years. I think the first kid I trained was Forrest Lane. He won here back in 98, youngest one to win on 50s, but we've been at it for a few years.
All right, you got some knowledge. Let's let you thank people for this moto win, Andrew.
First and foremost, big man above for keeping me safe. You know, a long time ago, about lost it, but my mom, my dad, my wife Shelby, all the unconditional support. Whether it's this, woods racing, I don't know, we've done a lot of crazy stuff racing wise, but she's always there for me. The Shoals MX take me in as a family. A couple years ago, Stu Baylor has taught me more than I ever thought I'd learn. The Wood family, Fox, Todd, Aaron, everybody over there, FMF, Joel, Kyle, Donnie, everybody at FMF, thanks for the support. X-Star, Hinson, Wiseco, DP Brakes, the Yule family for all the support at the Woods races, my trainer Tim Ulinsky, Roost MX, Chris, Christina over there at Roost, Dunlop Tires, Rob Fox. I mean, I was hooking up awesome. I got a little bit sketchy on the face of that finish line jump one time, but it looked like I-285 over there. XC Gear, Hills Performance Tuning, Evans Coolants, Team Rehabilitation, Pro Taper, Wiseco, Comedic, everybody that I forgot, thank you so much. I couldn't be here without you guys.
Andrew Matusik, everybody. Gold medal. And we'll see. He could be a player in this championship before it's all over. Going to take our second place finisher on up next. All right, we'll let Andrew go cool down. Let's bring our silver medalist up there looking to defend a championship. And a good congratulations between first and second in this moto. Let's hear it for the number 1 silver medal for Nicholas Hayes. Had to do some work in that one, man. Take me through it.
Yeah, that was a little tougher. I wheelied a little bit off the start, got buried back, and I had to work through. I saw Andrew up there from the get-go. He ripped a nice start, and I knew I had my work cut out for me, and I was able to get up to second. Once I got to second, I kind of spent myself a little bit, and I was just thinking about the championship and the main run of it all. So I feel like it was a solid ride, and we'll go strong for the third moto.
All right. Who do you want to thank, Nicholas?
Man, you got to thank the Lord Jesus Christ keeping us all safe. You know, my family, my dad working on everything, my mom, my wife, my daughter, all my sponsors, Total Control, man, O'Neill, Pro Circuit, Arai, Alpenstars, I can't remember, Commonwealth Coach, Team Green, Dunlop. I mean, they obviously it hooked up. It wheelied up on me on the start. Anybody else, I forgot. And I like to thank, there's 2 big people I like to thank back at home. There's 2 tracks, South Fork MX and NCMP. I turned a lot of laps at both of those. They really helped to get me to this level. And both owners just put so much work into it, and it helped a whole lot for us to get this point.
Nicholas Hayes, everybody, taking second. Trying to go back-to-back in this class. I got to get our third place finisher, Justin Kelly. For Justin Kelly. And also Jesse Bork, who was our whole shot winner from Stasek. We'll bring him up there as well. Oh, it's a battle in this moto, and it's a proud third place finisher. Let's hear it for Justin Kelly. You're in some battles out there, man. Tell me about it.
That was a tough class. A little earlier motos would have helped, but the heat was getting the best of all of us. We were struggling towards the end, but it was hard fought third.
All right, man. You proud of that?
Oh, absolutely. It was a step better than before, in the right direction to try to do something good here.
Okay. Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to give a huge shout out to my wife and kids for allowing me to do this. My Moto fam, Hoosier Tire, Tamer, Kawasaki, Team Green, DTA, Recluse, UFO, X-Brand, Illinois Power Sports, Bear Paw, Race Tech, and 4PR.
Justin Kelly, everybody. Third place.
Razor Image, by the way, too.
All right, there you go. I need Jesse Bork, who has our Stasek Hole Shot. I'm not sure if he stopped or not, but the Stasek Hole Shot Award goes to Jesse Bork, so congrats to him with our Stasek Hole Shot Award. I don't see anybody coming back up to the stage. We'll get that hole shot money to him, and I will send it to the tower. This is one of the most anticipated motos of the day.